Okay, as promised, I've just done the video on major keys and how to make chords up for major keys, how to make the major scale, blah 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 blah. This one is on minor keys, okay? Now, you might have done some of this in college, but not with me, so we are going to go over this. I just wanted to get in first, get this video done, and then hopefully when we cover the content, this will become more compound. But just watching this video should explain how minor keys work and how to kind of do that, so hopefully this will be a useful time. So, last video we took the major scale, we looked how to make the major scale and how to turn those into chords. We're going to do the same thing here with the minor scale. How to make the minor scale, why is it useful, and how to turn it into chords. The other thing I'm going to talk about is this thing called relative major and relative minor. Okay? Every major scale has a relative minor scale. Okay? I'm going to explain why that is, how to work out what your relative minor scale is, and why that's kind of useful, but just for now, just have an ear out for those terms. Okay? So, I'm going to start off by showing you how the minor scale relates to the major scale. And this will kind of be a double whammy, so we'll explain that relative minor. Okay. What I'm going to do, we're going to take the formula for the major scale, which you should hopefully know by now, is tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. I'm going to write it over 2 octaves, so I'm just going to basically repeat it. Okay? So we get tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. We get tone, semitone, tone, tone, semitone. Okay? So it looks like that. So yeah, we get tone, tone, semitone, tone, tone, semitone, tone, tone, semitone, tone, tone, semitone. Okay? If I write in the C major scale, again we know that's C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Okay? That gives us that. Just park that for a second. Now let's talk about the minor scale. Okay? So I'm going to do this in A minor. The reason I'm doing it in A minor will become apparent in a second. Okay? So let's just hear the minor scale, hear how it sounds. So let's look at the formula for that. Okay? So I've started on A. I'll tell you the notes and we'll look at the formula. So we've got A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. And then we go down G, F, E, C, D, C, E, A. Okay? So they're the notes. Let's look at the pattern. Let's look at the formula. Okay, so we start on an A, and we go up to a B. Okay, which so A, B. That B is a tone away. The C is a semitone away. The D is a tone away. The E is a tone away. I can stop that now. D is a tone, the E is a tone away. F is a semitone away. G is another tone. And then back to A gives us another tone. So we get this formula here. We get tone, semitone, tone, tone, semitone, tone, tone. Brilliant. That's our formula. And again, much like the formula for the major scale, start on any note, follow that formula, it will give you the minor scale. Just to prove my point, let's start on an E. Okay. Let's go. The tone takes us to F sharp. The semitone takes us to G. Tone to A. Tone to B. Tone to C. Or semitone to C, sorry. Tone to D. Tone to E. Okay, so we get. Okay. Same thing. Now, that's how we make it up. I just want to relate it back to this major scale formula for a second. Okay? Because those keen eyes amongst you will have noticed that in the C major scale there are no sharps or flats. In the A minor scale there are no sharps or flats. So essentially they're the same scale. If we take our C major scale thing here and we start on our A, our scale degree number 6, and we look up A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, it gives us our minor scale. And that's why I've used A minor, because A minor is the relative minor of C. The A minor scale and the C major scale are the same in the fact that they use the same notes. They just have a different, what we call tonal center, i.e. the note, the kind of the tonic note, the root note, the home of that scale is different, but the notes are the same. Those of you who are a bit more advanced and have come across the term modes, That's all modes are. That's exactly what modes do. Okay. If you're not sure what modes are and you've never heard that word before in a musical context, just forget I said anything for now. We are going to cover modes. Okay. So this gives us our minor scale. If you take your major scale, start on the 6th degree and play it through back to the next 6th degree, that gives you your minor scale. That's why we get relative minors and relative majors. Equally, C is the relative major of A, because the A minor scale and the C major scale are the same. Hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, please do get in contact and ask. But that's basically the reason why we have relative majors and relative minors. So now we need to turn these into chords. Okay? I'll do a bit of explanation and then I'll go through the same process we did on the last video, but actually really you don't need to. As long as you know your major scale one, you don't need to go through that whole process of the minor scale one, because again, you just start on number 6. Okay? I'll explain what I mean. So we know in our major scale, or our major key, the chords we use are major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. Yeah? We also now know that the relative minor is the 6th degree, where is it? It's there, of our major scale. So we can just apply the same theory that we just did with the major scale to the chords within the major scale. So we start on number 6 and follow it all the way through. So in the minor key, you get minor, diminished, major, minor, minor, major, major. Okay? All I've done is I've taken this formula here and I've started there and I've basically repeated, which gives us this here. That's how the chords work. That's how minor keys work. Okay, so we take our A minor, so we get A minor, D diminished, C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major. Okay. Where this gets a bit more confusing is when we get into that world of Roman numerals. Okay, because if we're in a minor key, you can actually write the minor key, or write the chords out in relation to the minor key. So, whereas before chord number 1 in our major key is a capital 1, this time around we write a lowercase 1, and we fill in the gaps, so our 2 becomes that diminished with a little circle, 3 becomes major, bosh, 4 becomes minor, 5 becomes minor, 6 becomes major, 7 becomes major. So you get that. Okay. And again, it's the same process. Let's just make sure that I haven't lost my mind. Okay. So we know the notes that we can use in our A minor scale are A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Okay. Put this on trial, see if we can do this. So again, like we did the C major scale, but in the A minor scale, these are the only notes that exist. We can only make chords up of these notes, and we're going to make chords up of those scale degrees. Okay. Let's take an A minor chord. And this time, whereas last time I started with minor chords, with major chords and manipulated them, I'm going to start with minor chords, just to prove this myth that you don't just have minor chords within each key. Okay. So, let's take an A minor. Okay, so we're using a 3-4 this time, not 4-3. Start on an A, count up 3, 1, 2, 3, gives us a C, count up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, gives us an E. So the notes in an A minor chord are A, C, E. Yes, they all appear within our scale, so we're good to go. We can continue. Let's take a B minor. Ooh. There we've got a B, a D, and an F sharp. Okay. B, the F sharp. You know the drill here, guys. We can't use the F sharp. It doesn't appear within our key. We have to use the available F, which is an F natural. So we flatten that F sharp to an F natural. If we take a minor chord and we flatten that 5th degree, or that 5th interval, we get a diminished chord. So we get 1, we get 2, it's a diminished chord, so we get minor, diminished. Alright. C. Let's make a C minor chord. That would be C, E flat, and G. Can't use the E flat because it doesn't appear within our key. Look, it says it right there. It doesn't appear. We have to use the available E, which is that one there. So at this time, rather than flatten, we actually sharpen. We take that E flat and we sharpen it to an E natural. You take a C, E, and a G. You play them all in at the same time. You get yourself a C major chord. So we get that. We get a nice uppercase 3, which I just said a minute ago, and a big M. And again, we follow that process all the way through. We'll get the same thing. We'll get a D minor after that, D, F, and A, which is totally good. All those notes work, fantastic. So a minor chord 4. E, we get an E minor will be E, G, and B. Those totally work, so we can put in a minor chord 5. F minor will be F, A flat, and C. Can't use the A flat, we have to use the variable A, which is an A natural. So F, A, C gives us a major chord 6. And then G minor would be G, B flat, and D. Can't use the B flat, have to use the B, which gives us G, B, and D, which gives us a major chord 7. And look, there it is. I've just written it out for you. And as I said a second ago, it matches entirely with what I've just put down. Okay? That's how minor keys work. That's what minor keys are. It's just taking the same theory as the major key, but starting on number 6, i.e. either note number 6 or chord number 6, following the same pattern, and it will give us these minor keys. Okay? I just want to talk a little bit about the difference between major and minor keys, because there's just a common misconception here. The misconception is that major is happy and minor is sad. And that generally works, but actually it's better to think of them as kind of light and dark, because you can do some very kind of cool things where you're in a major key, but actually it sounds very sad and beautiful and melancholic. Equally, you can have something that's in a minor key that sounds quite funky and upbeat. So try to remove this idea of happy and sad and go with light and dark. And it should be like a painter using shading. You apply the shading you want to your piece of music, whether it be light or whether it be dark. And depending on which chords you use, you get variants of light and dark. So your major chords within either a major or a minor key will provide a light tone. The minor chords, again, be it in a minor or a major key, will provide that darkness. And then the diminished chord is there really just to kind of throw blood and guts everywhere because it's real dark. But again, hopefully that all kind of makes sense. I think that kind of explains it all. The best thing to do is to just practice this stuff. Write some tunes using major keys. Write some tunes using minor keys. See how you get on. See the flavour you get for it. Some people will prefer one over the other. Neither's better than the other. And then we'll look a little bit later as how to change keys. I've got a video on the website on pivot chords and that kind of stuff, which will kind of help acknowledge that kind of stuff. But hopefully this video's been useful. Cheers.